Spotlight series, where we're here to just assist you throughout the summer, let you know more information about different departments and resources on campus. I'm going to first start off with a plug. As you can see, we're in a podcast room in the Old Kelly Library, excuse me. So we're here in the Media Production Lab podcast studio in the CG Old Kelly Library here at WSSU. In partnership with Adobe, the library now features a renovated media lab open to students, faculty, staff, alumni, and surrounding the community. Explore iMac workstations, a video production room, and other great resources. Check out books at the circulation desk, get help with the research or tech questions at the reference desk in the information commons. Reserve study rooms or dive into the SU history in the archives. Visit us in person or connect with us on Instagram at Old Kelly Library to learn more. So today for Spotlight Series, we are going to be spotlighting housing and residential life. So go ahead just to plug in. If you have any questions for housing and residential life, you can email them at housing@wssu.edu. We've also plugged that link in the chat as well. But I will let our guest introduce himself from housing.
All right, thank you. My name is Dr. Trey Cooper. I serve as the Associate Director for Residential Experiences within the Department of Housing and Residence Life.
Awesome, and we are thankful that you are here with us today to help our students get more information about housing.
Definitely excited to be here.
Awesome. So again, today is going to be a flux with questions, but we also have a few games that we're going to chime in with you with. So we're going to start off with the first game. So the first game is called Don't Forget the Lyrics. Now, chat, you can also help out with the lyrics in the chat room that we have at the bottom, but we also have a live audience member here that will be his lifeline if he needs assistance. So
I'm coming to you
we're going to start off with that first game of Don't Forget the Lyrics. So this is your song.
Last night I saw you standing, and I started pretending I knew you, and you knew me too. And just like a romance, you were too shy, but you weren't the only cause, so was I. And
So now you have to finish the lyrics.
I thought we was going to get to the chorus at least.
See, that would be too easy for you.
And some.
I mean, that's the melody for sure.
Some. Get myself to the chorus. Yeah, the next time you come my way, I know just what to say. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk?
And you did it. I mean, that was enough for me. It looks like you also had someone in the chat assisting you, Miss Sanders. She definitely started I think it was Dreamed of You Ever Since.
There we go, Dreamed of You Ever Since. There we go.
So she definitely helped you there. So shout out to Miss Sanders for that help.
We appreciate you, Miss Sanders.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into the questions for housing. Okay. So first question, how do I apply for an on-campus housing assignment?
All right, cool. So to apply for an on-campus housing assignment, first thing you're going to do is go to that WSSU housing portal. Once you're there, you're going to log in with your WSSU credentials. So that's that email address and then the password that you created. Once you log in, you should see the housing option to go ahead and log in there. And you should see Start Application. Once you click Start Application, go in there, complete that application. There's some different formats in there. You have your roommate matching. You have your different things that you would do in that process. So complete that application, complete the application fee, and then you will receive your application on the housing assignment side of things.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So which residence halls are available for incoming first-year and transfer students?
So for our first-year students, we have all of our first-year areas are still available. So that's Covington, Moore, MXX, Atkins, Brown, those are our first-year areas, so those are the areas that we have available for first-year students. And then for our transfer students, they will be pushed into our upperclassmen housing, so GHT, Wilson, Rams, Foundation Heights. Those are the areas that our transfer students transferring into the university, they'll go there.
Got you. And just for our new incoming, what's GHT?
So Gleason, Harrison, Stone.
Got you. Okay, perfect. So, can I choose my own roommate, or will one be assigned to me?
So you can choose your own roommate. Once you do that application and go into that process of completing your application, you do the roommate matching that we were talking about. So in that roommate matching, we do some things just to see who you are. Do you wake up early? Do you go to bed late? When do you clean? When you do this?
Gotcha.
From there, you're able to go into do a roommate grouping. In that roommate grouping, you're able to send out an invite to the individual that you want to be your roommate. And then they'll get that invite. They'll go and click that link and do their part of the application from there. Okay. Now, let's say you don't have someone to do or become a roommate with, then we will assign you a roommate based on that roommate matching form. So we'll try our best to kind of go through there and see who you would match best with, and then kind of assign you a roommate from there.
Perfect. Cool. Okay, so y'all do some digging before.
You got to do a little work. We try to help what we can.
Awesome. So what items am I allowed to bring when I move in?
So it's a litany of things. So if I forget, I'll go ahead and preference now that if there is additional question or different items that is not mentioned in what I'm getting ready to talk about, that in that same portal that you go in and do that application, there's a resident resource tab. There we have our to bring and not to bring list listed as well. So off the top of my head, things that I would say you would want to bring, just to make the space a little bit of your own, you want to bring some things to decorate the room, make it comfortable. You can bring a TV. We ask that you bring a mattress pad, laundry detergent, and a laundry basket, shower shoes for those who are going to be in their community spaces, just shower shoes in general, a fan, all the things, different things that's going to make it comfortable, alarm clock, laptops, all the things that you're going to need to be successful here. Okay. For things that you may want to bring.
Awesome. So now, what about the items that I'm not able to bring, so that are permitted in the residence hall?
So things that you are not able to bring. We're going to start with air fryers. I know we hate it. We hate it. Definitely coming from home, everybody has their air fryers, but they are not allowed inside the residence halls. Hot plates or coffee pots that have the open heated surface are not allowed as well. Anything that's going to be an open heat source is not allowed. So those candles, oil diffusers, plug-ins, anything that we can potentially end up sparking fires, not allowed. If you're going to bring the extension cords, you want to make sure that it has a surge protector on it. The extension cords without a surge protector, they're not allowed. Microwaves are not allowed. So inside of the kitchen areas, inside of all the residence halls, we provide microwaves. So microwaves are not allowed inside of the spaces. And then in Covington specifically, mini fridges are not allowed. We bring those. Those are already inside the spaces when you all arrive. Christmas lights. Christmas lights is something else that is not allowed. So anything that can potentially cause a spark or something of that nature, they're not going to be allowed inside the space.
So since you said Christmas lights, that made me think of LED lights.
So LED lights to an extent. If they're the USB kind, yes. But anything that's not going to have that surge protector on it, that if there was a spark of fire, it would be able to put itself out. We won't be able to have those inside the hall.
Got you. Perfect. Thank you. What is it like to live in a residence hall?
Good question. So I think taking my own experience from when I was living inside of a residence hall many years ago, but living inside a residence hall, you're in a space where you're able to build community, right? So transitioning to that college area, you're learning how to navigate, in my opinion, you're learning how to navigate that young adulthood. Right. And in that, you have to learn how to deal with people and live with people who you may not necessarily love. And that is the experience that you're getting inside of a residence hall. So you're learning how to live with individuals. You're learning how to live with people that you may not get along with. You're learning how to live with people that you do get along with. You're learning to build community through similar interests. Those are those experiences that you'll be able to tap into living within inside of a residence hall. And then also being able to meet people in a place where you live. I think college is that one time where you literally can have your best friend right down the hallway. So that's something pretty cool about it.
Awesome. Thank you. So what is the role of a resident advisor? We know him, of course, as RA, but what is a resident advisor?
So resident advisors are paid student leadership positions, right? So those are those positions that they live inside the hall. They're assigned a specific floor with a certain amount of residents that they are responsible for, and kind of to serve as a mentor for those individuals that live inside the building. So if you are having some communication challenges or some conflicts within your room with your roommate, your RA is your person that you would go and talk to kind of get advice on how to navigate handling that conflict. If you're experiencing some issues on campus, some issues feeling homesick or things of those natures, those are the people that you would go to have those initial conversations to get pointed to the resources that WSSU has to offer to kind of help and assisting you to, enjoy your time here. RAs also do some of that programming, having different activities and doing different initiatives inside the building to get you outside of the room and building that community that we were kind of talking about a little bit later or earlier. So that's kind of what your RA is going to be there doing.
Awesome. So, letting some more people in the chat, but also so we can have a break from the questions. Thank you for this information that you provided us so far. So we have another game. So this second game is called Who Am I? Okay. So with Who Am I, just so that our students can get acquainted with things on campus, I've kind of came up with different riddles.
Okay.
So you have to guess the place, thing, or just kind of notable section on campus so the students can kind of be aware of what to look out for when they come and visit again, because some may have already came for Admitted Students Day.
Right.
So they might be able to answer some of these as well. But for those that haven't, just giving you an introduction to some of the places on campus, okay?
Got you. And I got my lifeline, right?
You still have your lifeline. And those that are in the chat, you can be the lifeline as well. Now, again, I'll read it twice.
Okay.
Because I know the first listen is just you hearing what I'm saying. But then the second one is kind of understanding. If you need me to read it again, just let me know.
Okay.
All right, so I am the father of 3 sons. My eldest is most favored. The youngest is most important than all the others. And the middle child is often missed or rushed when busy.
Boy. One more time.
Okay. I am a father of 3 sons. My eldest is most favored. The youngest is most important than all the others. And the middle child is often missed or rushed when busy.
Father of 3 sons.
Is Lifeline talking?
No, Lifeline's going to need to talk. Lifeline is going to have to talk.
All right, I'll say it one more time. I am the father of 3 sons. Now, don't overthink it, because it's just one answer, but don't overthink it. So I'm the father of 3 sons. My eldest is most favored. The youngest is most important than all the others. And the middle is often missed or rushed when busy. It's the location.
The clock tower?
No.
Oh, okay. Like Father Time? I don't know.
No, not the clock tower. So think of it as there's something that we all do or should do 3 times a day. And so there's an older, there's a youngest, and then there's a middle. So what's the name of our calf? Kennedy Dining Hall.
Yes, Kennedy Dining Hall.
So that would be the answer, because your eldest is most favored, which is dinner. Everyone loves dinner.
Okay.
The youngest is most important, which is breakfast. And the one that we miss because we rush too busy is the middle child, which is lunch. So that was your riddle for today.
Okay.
See, it wasn't too hard once you break it down, but is one of those thinkers.
When you said location, my mind went clock tower right in the center.
Everybody goes to the clock tower. Everybody goes to the clock tower. And say, I don't choose
time,
that.
Right. Father Time. You ate with that one. That was good.
Thank you. All right. So we have a last few questions. Are any pets allowed in the residence hall or on campus?
So I know we want to bring all of the pedals and all the fluffies. We want to bring them with us, right? But unfortunately, no. Pets are not allowed in the residence hall or on campus. There is an accommodation that is made. Now, if you have an ADA accommodation, then pets are allowed for those particular individuals. Okay. Those students have to get those animals approved by the Office of Disability Services, and then Office of Disability Services will have a conversation with housing to say, hey, this accommodation has been made for this specific animal for this specific student, and then we will try our best to kind of accommodate that accommodation based off what we have available.
Okay.
But as far as pets for leisure or just for you to bring your pet that you had from back home, that pet won't be allowed to be inside the residence hall. Got you.
Definitely understand. So what size are the beds in the residence halls, and what type of sheets should I bring?
So beds inside the residence halls are twin XL. So those are the type of comforter sets that you'll kind of want to look for when you are doing your shopping and preparing to come. You want to bring things that will fit on a twin XL bed. Now, we do have the case where some brands, the twin size sheets and things may work, but it's not guaranteed that that'll work. And we often see that is something that a lot of people will go and just buy twin size betting and think that it'll work when they get here, and it doesn't always work. So you end up having to go back out and spend money again to buy the correct thing. So we prefer twin XL. Sometimes you may get by with a twin size bedding.
Got you. Okay. So does the residence hall have computer labs or study areas?
Yes, so all of our residence halls have study areas and they have computer labs in them. Once you all get here and you have your first welcome floor meeting, you'll learn information about how to access those areas. You'll learn information about the timing of those areas, and then what can and can't be done in those areas. So some of those areas we have access to printing, some of them we don't. Some of them we have access to multiple computers. Some of them we don't. Some of them we have to reserve the space a little bit earlier.
Definitely.
So you kind of navigate that information within that first floor meeting that you'll have when you get here.
Awesome. Next question. Are laundry facilities available in the residence hall, and is there a cost to use them?
So yes, all of the residence halls are equipped with laundry facilities, and with those laundry facilities, there is no cost to go in there and do your laundry. The only thing that you all are responsible or will be responsible for having is your laundry detergent, and then anything else that's needed in doing your laundry process. That's not provided. But as far as the use of the machines, it's no cost to the students.
Oh, perfect. Because I had to pay for my laundry.
I had to pay for laundry,
so
too.
that is a plus.
I definitely had to pay for laundry, too.
Okay, so are the residence halls secure and locked at all times?
So yes, our residence halls are secure and locked at all times, and that is by way of a few things. So you have the RAs and desk attendants are that first group. They kind of sit at the desk. They kind of man that area. But the university also has a contract with a outside security company that helps with walking the building to kind of see if we have like prop doors or after hours once the RAs and DAs are no longer at the desk. They're walking the building and kind of sitting down at the desk to ensure that the nobody that's not supposed to be coming in the buildings are coming inside the buildings. Along with that, all of our buildings, you need your RAM card to swipe into. So that takes me to something that's on my head that I think we should have that conversation earlier.
Definitely.
It's just making sure that you are very safe and safeguarding with your RAM card and being able to access the building. Because if you let people follow in behind you or you're holding the doors or propping the doors for individuals to come in, then you're kind of going against what we're trying to do and keeping everyone safe. So making sure that you keep your RAM card, you don't lend out your RAM card to individuals is going to be important, and then making sure that you're not holding the door or propping the doors for individuals to come in behind you or tailgating behind you is going to be important as well, and making sure that we kind of keep that safe and security things that we're trying to keep going.
Definitely. So, and that just kind of brought me back to something real quick with your ID card. So what if I lose my ID card and I can't get into the residence? How would I?
So if you happen to lose your RAM card, you need to go to the RAM card office immediately. That is located in Thompson on the second floor. You want to make sure you go there, let them know, hey, this was the last day I saw my RAM card, or I lost it yesterday, I lost it this morning, so that they can go ahead and get that RAM card turned off before it gets in the hands of somebody who shouldn't have it.
Definitely.
And then they'll be able to issue you another card that you'll be able to use to get inside the building.
Right. Okay. Thank you. If I want to have a friend visit for the weekend, what is the guest policy?
So guest policy, all visitors have to be signed into the building. That's the weekend or weekday, regardless. All visitors have to be signed into the building. To do that, you will go to that comment area or that lobby space wherever the RAs are located, DAs are located, and you'll have to give your ID. That person will give their ID, driver's license, state issue ID, RAM card. They will give some type of identification to the staff member working the front desk, and they will sign in. On the weekends, visitation goes into 2 a.m., so you'll need to make sure that you go back to the desk to get your ID before 2 a.m. On the weekdays, visitation goes into 12, so you'll need to make sure that you're back to pick up your card by 12 and that you've signed out the building. But that's the process in simple. The guest has to sign in, and then the person that they're coming to visit has to meet them down at the front desk to come and sign their guest in.
Got you. Okay. Very secure. What should I do, which we talked about the student ID, but what should I do if I lose my room key?
So if you lose your room key, that's where that RA would come in. You can have that conversation with your RA. Or if it's a quick thing, you notice it as you're getting ready to exit the building, going down to the front desk where the desk attendant or the RA is working is going to be important to let them know, hey, I live in 232B. I lost my key. How can I get that process started to get my key, getting a new key? They will instruct you to fill out a form, or they will have you contact the REC, which is your residence education coordinator. That's your person that oversees your building as a whole. They'll have you reach out to that person to do a maintenance request for a lost key, or you'll fill out the form for the lost key. And then once your key has been recut, your cords have been changed, you'll get an email and you'll get a phone call basically saying, hey, your new key is ready for pickup at this location. And you just go and pick up your new key there.
Awesome. Thank you. So What should I do? Oh, we already did that one. If I lost my room key. So, are there social events or fun activities organized within the residence halls?
Definitely. So, kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but just more in detail. Our RAs do programming. So, in them doing programming, they are doing social events and educational or fundatory events
Right.
that are happening within the residence hall. So that can be paint nights, that can be movie nights, that can be stress relief programs like building massage balls or doing slime, different things that we kind of find interesting, kind of take place within the residence halls. Now, what I do want to note is that no two people will have the same experience within their residence hall because we try to give creativity for the RAs to kind of program how they see fit for their style. So the same programs that's happening in Foundation Heights may not be the same programs that you're getting in Covington.
Gotcha.
So from an RA lens, that's the type of things that you could look forward to with inside the residence hall. Now, from a departmental lens, we do different programming that may take place in different residence halls, where it may be a RHA-sponsored movie night happening in Foundations that everybody may have access to. Or we may do things like Resident Appreciation Day that may take place down on the big field, the practice field, where we bring out the different inflatables and things of that nature. So the department does some things, and then RAs and the RECs also do some programming within their respective halls.
Awesome. And I can definitely say, just from witnessing, y'all have some great events here on campus.
Yeah, we try to give the vibes. We try to give the vibes.
Definitely, you do that. Well, I do appreciate you. I know it was a little short, but I think we do have just a few questions in the chat that I think you'll be able to answer. And if not, again, I know we did ask if you could send those questions to housing at residential or housing at wssu.edu. So let me zoom up in the chat. I'm sorry. Would like to know anything pertinent to incoming freshman student athletes. So I'm guessing anything for housing for student athletes. Is there something that they should really need to know?
So there's nothing specific student athlete wise. All that information is being pushed out through coaches, and then they will be in that same lineup where when we do our group sending out for special populations, they'll be in that same lineup that receives that communication that is pertinent to preparing them for their move-in.
Okay, perfect. For people with learning disabilities and need a ESA with them on campus, what's the process to help them get their own room, or are there any more spaces for single rooms available?
So the process is simple. Whatever accommodations that you have set prior to coming to campus, you would go and take that information over to the Office of Disability Services, Student Disability Services, and then they will get you started with our on-campus process in their respective office. From there, the Office of Student Disability Services will communicate out to the necessary individuals, hey, this student has an accommodation, and this is the accommodation that needs to be met for this student. So there is process, and there are spaces reserved and things of that nature for students with ADA accommodations. However, you have to go through that process to be able to qualify for those those accommodations.
Okay, cool. I think those are all the questions we have right now. But I will suggest, again, sending those questions to housing at wssu.edu, only so that you can get maybe links, more contact information for a disability service to assist you. We have one that just popped in. For a transfer student, when do we get room assignments?
So for everyone that has done an application of some sort, the assignments team is beginning to starting to work through closing those processes out. So within the next 2 weeks, there should be something that pops up within their portal as regarding their assignment. Now, if that 2 weeks have passed and you still have not seen anything on your portal, then we ask that you reach out to that housing at WSSU email or give the housing office a call just to kind of check in to see if there's been any updates or are they still in the process of pushing out assignments.
Definitely. Okay, perfect. Do we have any more questions? Excuse me, sorry. Any more questions that you may have lingering?
So while we do that, I'll give the last two shameless plugs.
Okay.
So just on the move-in side, we are in the process of doing our last touches on our move-in plans. So that information will be going out to everyone this month, and then kind of just reiterating that second part of assignments. If you're still waiting on an assignment or you've turned in something you haven't really heard nothing back, this is our 2 weeks that our assignments starts to roll out. So you should have some information coming to you within these next 2 weeks. So definitely check those emails. And if you have any additional questions, make sure that you are shooting those emails and those questions to the email address so that we can assist you.
Definitely, definitely. Oh, that's more. Sorry. Wanted to make sure I cover all questions in the chat. Thank you again. Shout out to Ms. Morgan Banks, who is one of our admissions counselors, who's also been assisting you with the chat as well. Can you answer questions for seniors housing waitlist questions?
Waitlist questions, I don't have the direct answers for those at this moment.
Okay.
But if we do have a assignments team member that are handling waitlist specifically, so those are being prioritized inside that housing at WSSU email as well. Just make sure in the subject line that you reiterate that it's a waitlist question so we can make sure it's routed to the correct person.
Got you. So again, if it's a waitlist question, put in that subject line.
In that subject line, name, banner, and then this is a waitlist specific question so it can be routed to the correct area.
Got you. Okay. Perfect. Well, I know just to wrap you up, I have one more thing if you could do for me. So I call this segment RAM Vision. The reason I call it RAM Vision because I did some information and research on RAMs. So being here since 2016, I can see why RAMs, they have perfect vision. Did not know that until I did some research, but I thought that was a cool fun fact about a RAM that they have perfect vision. So you as an alum, kind of giving some advice to these incoming students. So just giving them a little RAM vision to see how they can better matriculate their process or even making it more seamless for them coming from high school to college or even transferring from another college to WSSU.
Definitely. So I think my vision or my words that I would give is, one, definitely don't change who you are. I think it's important to remain who you are and know who you are before getting here. Oftentimes when you get into new spaces, you try to fit in with different crowds.
Definitely.
And you try to go about new experiences or you go through new experiences that may change you. Just stay true to who you are when you get here and who you are and who people know you to be from back home. I think that is a very important thing. And then know that you can do it. There will be times as you are navigating your experience here at WSSU where you may start to question, did I make the right decision by coming here? Is this something that is too hard or unachievable for me? Know that you are here for a reason. You came and you have a purpose for being here, and continue to tap into that when you start to have those moments of self-doubt, because it happens to everyone. Everybody likes to walk around kind of like you have it together, or we all got it together, but everyone has that moments where they start to question, am I doing the right thing, or am I doing this the correct way? So just making sure that you tap into that when you have those moments of self-doubt or you're trying to get that extra push to get through that assignment.
For sure. I appreciate that. That was really good advice because going from a small town to college and HBCU experience, remembering where I came from, staying grounded, I think is what made my experience so good. So that was really good advice for our incoming students. So I appreciate you, Dr. Cooper, for coming on Spotlight Series today, talking with our new incoming students about housing and residential life. But also, again, giving them those words and also wisdom of what they'll need as far as within housing, but also with just the matriculation here at WSSU. So, again, to you all, our new Ramily, we will have Spotlight Series on next Wednesday. We will have new guests. If you haven't registered, you can go and register on our admissions webpage at wssu.edu. It should be on the admitted students tab so that you can register for the next Spotlight Series. And if you haven't registered for the other future dates, you can go ahead and see what those dates are going to be and who will be there. I do appreciate you again for being here. My name is Reginald Jones, our senior admissions counselor here at WSSU, and I will see you next week.
And 333. Look at that.
Okay.